Yamaha Tracer 9 Best Motorcycle to Learn On. Before you start poring over biker forums and Google searches for best beginner motorcycles, you need to consider some good learner bikes. Most rider schools offer standard street motorcycles to learn on, and that's certainly a good choice. However, the learning won't stop once you get your endorsement. As a new rider, you'll need to constantly practice and hone your skills before you're fully confident on the bike. Keep this in mind when choosing your first motorcycle. You'll need something that's easy to handle, forgiving, and reliable. There's nothing worse than trying to wrestle a motorcycle that's too big and too powerful for you as a beginner. Next, think about the type of riding you'll want to do. Will you mostly be commuting on your bike? Do you want to get into adventure motorcycling and travel? Are you into sports bikes or off-road riding? As you progress, your priorities may change, and you may end up changing disciplines or buying multiple motorcycles, but a good motorcycle for beginners will typically be capable of handling a little bit of everything. Street motorcycles like Yamaha Tracer and Kawasaki Ninja, as well as Honda NC models, are great bikes to learn on regardless of what discipline you may choose down the line. Reliability and maintenance. Next, you have to consider things like reliability and maintenance. Most modern motorcycles do not break down easily, and, as long as you service the bike regularly, you shouldn't have any issues. However, some bikes are more highly strung than others and may require additional care and frequent service, and for new riders, this can be intimidating. Finally, think about your budget. Are you buying new or second-hand? Are you looking for a bike that's brand new but affordable? Price points matter when you're looking for an entry-level motorcycle because, once you've mastered the basics, you may want to move on to a different machine, and there's no point spending tens of thousands of dollars on something you may decide to change within a year or two. Yamaha Tracer 9 Review. Overall rating. The Yamaha Tracer 9 is the latest version of the firm's popular Tracer 900 model, but now it has received an energizing shot from the rasping attributes of the 2021 MT-09. Yamaha's Tracer 9 and the enticing upgraded Tracer 9 GT, just £2,000 extra with a range of super value additions, have cannibalized the 889 cubic centimeters 117 brake horsepower CP3 triple, the chassis, and the agreeable ergonomics to form another thoroughbred option in an increasingly crowded segment of the market. We swapped between both bikes for more than 130 miles in the wine country of Catalunya and for what felt like a never-ending route of corners and curves. Does the Tracer 9 earn its spurs as the leader of Yamaha's grandiose Roads of Life campaign? The turning prowess and power of the MT-09 with added comfort, less vibration and a range of add-ons with the GT make the Tracer 9 a motorcycle that lingers in the mind long after the sidestand has dropped. The sheer ease and stability of the handling, together with the MT torque, makes quite an impact and just enough to cover how uncomfortable the ride can be in the 80 to 90 miles per hour range on straight roads. This is a fine sports tourer that should keep the Tracer name at the top end of the sale charts upon its arrival in the UK in May, but the extra specs of the GT really make it an essential purchase. Ride quality and brakes. A Delta Box chassis with 50% more lateral rigidity comes straight from the MT-09, as do the highly effective and lighter 10-spoke spin-forged wheels, lower Euro effect, and an engine rotated almost 5 degrees more upright in the frame. The front end feels lower thanks to the new KYB forks, and the MT-09 styled fuel tank brings you nicely into a position that is both sporty and instantly controllable. Combine willing Bridgestone Batlax tires and the sensation through corners is the stuff of dreams, precise, light, so stable and fantastically reassuring. Yamaha have given the Tracer a new longer 64mm aluminium swing arm that still keeps the bike's wheelbase at 1,500mm and hikes a potential extra payload to 193 kg, but the overall effect on centered rideability is very tangible. The Tracer 9 launch accentuated the strengths of the bike through all manner of turns and kinks where the R1 style Nissan front brake was more than capable, the extra linear emphasis delivering the right amount of contact. Engine. The CP3 triple is Euro 5 friendly, 2 kg lighter than the motor used on the outgoing MT-09 and provides 6% more peak torque, 3% more peak output and 9% more efficiency. That the Japanese have dropped weight, met emissions targets and still found a small elevation in power means the engine is one of the finer technical accomplishments of the Tracer 9. From the 4D mode throttle response options, the sportier setting is still the best choice, giving a bigger slice of verve from Yamaha control chip throttle. New intakes and chambers mean the growl from the Tracer is eminently satisfying. Yamaha claimed the audio boosts the emotional connection with the bike and they're not too wide of the mark. Reliability and build quality. The CP3 engine in the Tracer may have been tweaked for the new version of the bike, but if the old version is anything to go by, there shouldn't be any problems. CP3 engines have been known to see off 100,000 miles without issue. Value versus rivals. The Tracer 9 faces stiff competition from the similarly triple-cylinder engine-powered Triumph Tiger 900 GT and GT Pro. Although the Triumph is more expensive and less powerful than the Yamaha, it's a classy machine with lots of tech and worth considering. The equivalent BMW option, the F900XR, is cheaper than the Yamaha and only slightly down on power despite using a parallel twin engine. Unlike the Triumph, the BMW also uses a sporty 17-inch front wheel for road-focused handling. You might also consider the Kawasaki Versys 1000S, which has a similar power and price to the Yamaha and also has 17-inch front wheel. Equipment. Yamaha have gone more minimal with the sleek design of the Tracer 9. The layered plastics and panels promote better airflow while the rest of the ergonomics add to the impression of balance. However, the company might want to consider a harsh review of the dash department in Iwata. Like the disappointing unit on the MT-09, the Tracer's principal info interface lacks thought. The split 3.5-inch TFT is a sound idea, with trip customization data on the right and tacho and other figures on the left, but the display is set too far forward for taller riders, is hard to see in the sun and is an instant dust trap. Electronics including brake, slide and traction control are all funneled through a new 6-axis IMU that is more compact than the hardware used on the R1 and runs 125 calculations per second and helped when the asphalt became a bit choppy and even muddy in parts. The whole Tracer 9 experience dipped only through a brief blat on fast airroads when the screen proved woefully inadequate for my 5 feet 11 inches height, even at the peak of its 50mm range of movement. Model history and versions. Model history. 2015, upright all-round Tracer version of the naked MT-09 launched. Half-fared, it has stiffer suspension, a larger fuel tank, Super Tenere dash, more upright riding position, revised fueling, traction control, a power socket and a center stand. 2016, name changed from MT-09 Tracer to Tracer 900. 2017, new lighter slipper clutch, longer swing arm for improved stability, plus adjustable traction control. 2018, higher spec Tracer 900 GT introduced alongside, with color-matched hard luggage, colored TFT dash, cruise control, quickshifter and heated grips. 2021, Tracer 900 and GT, replaced by new Tracer 9, with completely new look, increased engine capacity, more power, larger fuel tank, cruise control and fancier dash. Tracer 9 GT has semi-active suspension, all-singing traction control and ABS, heated grips and cornering lights. Other versions. The GT is a heavier but equally poised and thrilling version of the Tracer 9. Adding 2,000 pounds to the cost of the bike seems like hefty ballast, but in actual fact, it's great value. The literal and financial weight comes through a rudimentary Kayaba semi-active suspension with new IMU and wider damping options and the installed side cases as part of the floating carrier system. The cases alone cost £1,100 on the older Tracer. The 10 settings of the heated grips worked great in the chilly early hours of the Catalan sun, and the Yamaha's up and down quick shift system is joyous part of the pack, even if the Tracer 9's gearbox with new longer first and second gear is a sturdy and light piece of kit. Lastly, the gray/blue icon color of the GT also outshines the redline and tech camo of the Tracer 9. With all of this in mind, here are some ideas for the best beginner motorcycles in different disciplines.